One, two, three.
Hello, everyone. This is Kyle Laws with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. I get to do another one-on-one training session with a gentleman out of the East Coast in Connecticut named John Slayton. He messaged me and we went back and forth a little bit with car talk, and then he said, "You know what? I'm ready to book a one-on-one," and I appreciate that quite a bit, John. Um, so let's get to know John first. Thank you, and tell us about yourself.
All right. Well, I've been working in the car industry for about 2 months now. I work for Premier Subaru in Brantford, Connecticut. I've been in retail sales though for about 20 years. My last job before this was AT&T. I was there for about 11 years, just doing sales.
Very cool. So you're familiar with customers.
Yes, I am.
That's mainly the biggest thing about sales is if you're a people person and you know how to talk with customers, it doesn't matter what you sell, you'll be good at it. And
Right.
it sounds like your movement from, cell phone AT&T and that stuff over to car business has translated well based on the numbers you sold last month. So it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So
Uh,
far, so good.
I want to give a shout out to your manager and the owner, it sounds like. What are their names?
The owner is Bob Alvine and the manager is Parker Pearlstein.
And what did they do for you? Or what did they say?
Well, my sorry about that.
No, no
My
problem.
manager Parker sent me the podcast originally about a month and a half ago, and he told the owner today about the podcast that I was going to be on it. And he came over to me. He's glad that I'm learning, that I'm moving forward in my career, that I'm trying to gain knowledge and get better.
Very, very cool. And they sound like they might reimburse you.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. They're happy to help me out.
That's really cool. The reason why I want to give them a shout out is because there's not enough of people like them, not enough managers, not enough owners that care enough about their sales guy to where they would reimburse them for a training session and be okay with like your sales manager saying, "Hey, listen to this podcast," because sales managers are busy. And trust me, your sales manager wants to spend hours with you to train you. He just can't. So I got to give him a shout out. So very, very cool. And before we get started, you mentioned that your goal for April was how many units?
I was shooting for 22,
And what did you land at?
19.
19 units in your second month in car sales.
Yeah, it was my first full month. Yeah, my first month I worked 10 days. I got 6 cars.
So I want you to take this hand and go like this,
Yeah.
because it doesn't happen enough. Car salespeople, family men, people out there grinding, they're so laser focused on the next deal, the next deal, the next day, the next day, the next minute that they forget to give themselves a pat on the back and say, "You know what? I did a darn good job. I am going to go have a steak dinner." Something to celebrate, and those little celebrations in between those months can really keep your head in the game and keep your psyche correct, all that stuff. But what I want to talk about before we get started is the fact that you booked a training session. The fact that only your second month in the car business, you decided, I think I want to go to the next level. What made you want to pursue a one-on-one training session, and what made you pick Pour2Pro?
Um, well, I tried listening to a couple different podcasts, but this is one of the first ones that I heard. My manager sent me it, and I liked the one-on-one you were doing. I went back to the beginning. I started listening to the original episodes, first season, second season. Anytime I was in my car, I basically stopped listening to music. I just pretty much listen to you. So I'm always learning. I'm kind of becoming obsessed with the car business. That's all I think about now. On my days off, I don't mind going in just because it's something to do and it's making progress. I'm not going in for nothing when I go in. It's for deliveries usually.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's on my mind. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to just further my career. I want this to be my career.
Very cool. Yeah, the key word is obsessed. We have to go a little bit mad in the car
Yeah.
business if you truly want to get to the next level. You have to you got to go a little crazy, and it sounds like, not the bad kind of crazy, but like I love what I do. Even if you don't, you trick yourself into thinking you love what you do, and then eventually you start loving what you do. But being obsessed, listening, learning, and night and day, days off, That's the reason why you sold 19 cars. You didn't sell 19 cars on accident. You didn't have 19 laydowns. You fought all month and you got in there and you grinded it out and you sold a lot of cars. You aimed for the stars of 22 and you landed on the moon with 19. So great job.
Thank you.
Okay, so another thing I want to cover real quick is right now there's a split in the universe. Okay, there's a universe thing happening right here. There's John Slayton right here in parallel universe 1, and there's John Slayton 2 in parallel universe 2. This John, the second parallel universe, is training, booking one-on-ones. Okay,
Okay.
now what's happening, and you're going to notice this tomorrow after you trained and you got some inspiration and you got some new techniques. You're not going to sell 20 cars tomorrow, right? But what's going
Right.
to happen is John 2, that's training and learning in parallel universe, is going to start separating himself from the guy that is just the regular John Slayton, no training, no trying, just a normal guy going to work. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a big difference in your trajectories over time. So
Okay.
tomorrow when you go in, you're kind of the same John Slayton. You have more information, but nothing major is going to happen tomorrow. But the more you train, the more you book one-on-ones, the more you do this and that, you're going to start seeing in this other universe that you've entered in now, a John Slayton version 2.0. Now, John Slayton 1.0 may eventually be a GM one day. He may be a sales manager one day. But how long does it take without proper training to get to that level? Versus John 2.0 now, doing this and escalating quickly. Instead of taking 35 years to be a GM, you might be able to pull it off in 9 or 10 because you're training and you're taking your career seriously. So good job for doing this. Okay, so let's get into topic one, and this is a big one. This is a very important one in car sales, especially when you're selling new cars. Is your first topic was walk around and best practices. How do you feel like you're doing right now with one-on-ones? Or not one-on-ones, walk-arounds?
With walkarounds, not the greatest. I'm not. I know there's a lot of skill involved in it. I'm still trying to learn the way to do it. Sometimes I'll pull a car up and the customer wants to just get right in. They don't even want to do a walk around. So I try to get them to follow me and show them around the car a little, give them little pointers. Like in the front of the car, I'll show them the eyesight camera system the Subarus have, the 3 cameras in the windshield. I'll take them around the trunk, open the trunk up, show them how much space they have. But aside from that, I don't really know too much else what to say. I want to start asking some of my coworkers if they could do some practice walkarounds with me in the showroom.
That's a great idea. Practice makes perfect, and iron sharpens iron. So if you can find a like-minded salesperson at your dealership that's willing to go through the trenches with you of training and appreciates what you're trying to do, and maybe they will follow suit, then you guys can start escalating yourself and your skills higher than the average bear. The average car salesman right now sells around 10 cars a month. That's average. It's a hard truth because some people that's their best months. But there's a lot of salespeople that when they hit 10, they go home crying. They're like, oh my gosh, I had such a terrible month. I only sold 10. And then there's some people celebrating they hit 10. The key is to become one of those salespeople that looks at 10 as, oh yeah, I did 10 in the first 15 days. Oh, okay, cool. Wow. You sell 20 cars a month. So if you can find a like-minded person at your dealership that you could practice walkarounds with, that would be a great person to be around because I can't be there with you. I would love to come visit you and show you in person, but that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I bet.
So let's talk about the first thing when it comes to the walk around. My notes are here. That's why I look down here.
Yeah,
The most important thing in a walk around is you have to know your product. 100%. You 100% got to know everything about each car you have, which is a big mountain to climb. It's Mount Everest. How am I supposed to retain all this information? Well, if you're there 8 hours a day and you're only selling cars for 2 or 3 of those hours, man, you got some time to learn your product. But if you're a salesperson out there that's struggling with the walk around, it's because you don't have enough content to talk about. And the only way you get content is by learning your product. And when you know your product 100%, then you can have the confidence to show it. And when you have confidence, then you can sell the car. People like following people that are confident. If you were John, if you were to go to war and the commander, the guy that's leading the army is like, all right, guys, I'll be out there in front. I'm gonna be leading everybody. This is what I want you guys to do, and we're gonna go out there and fight. Look for me, look for my commands. Is that a guy worth following to war?
Yeah.
Heck yes. What about this commander? Hey guys, I hope you guys do a really good job in this fight, and I know you guys all have your weapons, so go out there and do your best, and let me know how it goes. How are you going to feel about that, commander?
Yeah, not so much.
I'm fighting for you? What in
Yeah.
the heck? I should be at home eating dinner with my family, right?
Yeah.
So think of that analogy when you're on the car lot with the customer. Does your customer want to follow the wimpy commander that doesn't really know much about fighting? Or does your customer want to follow the guy that's like Braveheart, like William Wallace from Braveheart, Mel Gibson, right? That's the easy guy to follow. So if you know your product good enough, 100% of your product, then you have that confidence of the William Wallace Braveheart dude. And then now when you have the confidence in what you're selling, then the customer has confidence in who they're following. Okay. So a lot of salespeople, when they get their product tests from the manufacturer, all they care about is passing the test. Can we agree?
Yeah.
I hope I get 80% on my product knowledge test on the
Yeah.
Outback. I have to do the wilderness, then I have to do the STI, and I have to do all this stuff, and they just changed it again, and now I got to do more tests.
Yeah.
Those tests are there for a reason. They're not to waste time or bore their salespeople. The tests are there so you can pinpoint every little thing possible to learn product. Okay. So when you get those tests, what I used to do with my tests when I started taking my career more seriously, I get a big yellow notepad like I have right here with your notes, and I would fill out stuff that I thought was important that a customer might be interested in. They don't care about the tire as much as the eyesight. What does the eyesight do? Well, I better start taking some notes because when you write something down, it sticks in your brain. Okay?
All right.
So when you start doing your test, treat it as more than just a test in a certificate that you print out. Treat it as your livelihood. Treat it as your income.
All
Okay?
right.
So you have to know your product 100%, and then you also have to know your competitor's product. Who's the biggest competitor to Subaru?
Maybe Toyota, Honda,
Okay, so let's say
Japanese brands.
what was the last one?
The Japanese brands.
Okay, so let's say a customer's coming to look and they're looking at the Ascent.
Yes.
Okay, what's a competitor to the Ascent?
Maybe a Highlander.
Okay, that's Toyota.
Yep.
What about Honda?
I'm not sure what Honda has as a competitor to the Ascent.
Pilot, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, three rows, not too giant, not too small. What about Kia?
Kia, I'm not sure. I need to do more research, definitely.
That's
I see what
okay.
you're getting at.
Hey, admitting it is the first step.
Yeah.
The Kia would be maybe the Telluride,
Yeah.
the Hyundai, maybe the Palisade,
Right.
The Ford, maybe the Explorer,
Yep. I've
the
had
Chevy,
people compare the Explorer.
yeah, the Chevy is the Traverse, right? So having this stuff up there is going to help you when you're doing a walk around because you have to assume your customer is shopping you. And if you can point out things in your beautiful walk around that the competition doesn't have because you did your correct training and you looked for class exclusive features, do you know what class exclusive means?
Specific to that brand.
Yeah, no other brand has it. So if they're looking at the Ascent, you can point out class exclusives. Well, we're comparing to the Highlander. Okay, the Highlander is a beautiful vehicle, and I understand why you're comparing to the Highlander. Man, they're amazing. But let me tell you why the Ascent is even better, and it has more value per dollar to go with the Ascent. And I'm going to show you some things on the Ascent that are class exclusive. The Highlander doesn't have it. They can't have it. The Ascent's the only one that has it. And I promise you, the Ascent has some class exclusive features if you do your training correctly that you'll learn. And then they don't need to shop anymore. A lot of times when customers leave the lot, they want to look around because you haven't done enough to sell them. They're seeing more value by leaving than seeing value by staying. Okay?
Right.
So product information is number one. The second one is feature action benefit, also known as FAB. The feature of the vehicle of the item you're showing, the action of it, what it does, and how it's going to benefit them. Feature, action, benefit. So the feature is LED headlamps. Oh, okay. So if you just do your walk around and say it has LED headlamps, what does that even mean? What does that mean to the customer? Let's say you get technical. The light emitting, I think it's light emitting
Yeah.
diode, right? Oh man, this guy's very technical. Well, what is that? How does that translate to the customer, right? So the
Right.
feature is LED. The action is it's 35 watts and it's extremely bright and it covers from here to here. Huge ray of brightness and it goes 200 feet this way or whatever it is, you know? Now, what's the benefit of that, John? I'll let you finish it.
Well, it's a brighter, clearer driving experience.
What are the other benefits though?
Um, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll help you.
Thanks.
No problem. So it's this bright and it goes that far. So if there's a something in the road and it's dark, you have more time to react. You can actually see it ahead of the competition. Also, when I said the lights go farther this way, let's say you're on the freeway and there's a deer jumping from the side of the road, which happens. Wild
Right.
animals coming from the side of the road. Well, because the angle of this light goes so far this way and it's bright, you can see that animal about to jump in the freeway sooner than the competition, which means you have more time to react. So not brighter lights aren't just to see, there's also a safety feature built into to brighter lights and more angle. So the you have to break down the feature of it, LED, the action of it, it's farther this way, it's brighter this way, and the benefit, it's going to save your life. You have more time to stop. What if there's a giant refrigerator in the freeway and you have crappy regular lights? You won't have time to react. That's why the LEDs are amazing. Oh, wow. Okay. So if you think about feature action benefit, now you're going to look at cars differently. You're going to go into work tomorrow and look at the vehicle a little bit different. Blind spot. What's the feature action benefit of blind spot? Adaptive cruise. What's the feature action benefit of adaptive cruise? Um, what else? What other features are on a Subaru that's cool?
I mean, the biggest thing is that eyesight pre-collision system. It's
Okay,
three
so
cameras on the windshield.
that's the feature. What's the action of it? What's it do? Not how it benefits them. What does that eyesight do?
It watches for things in the road, vehicles, objects.
Now, what's the benefit?
You don't hit things.
Yeah. I mean, right? You imagine a car saving your family's life. That is what the eyesight does. This
Right.
is why Subaru spent I don't know how many thousands of hours developing this technology. And the reason why they call it eyesight is because it's another set of eyes on the road. What if there's a moment where you spill your drink and you look down, oh, it's burning my leg? Well, eyesight's still watching the road.
Yeah.
Eyesight is still there. It's not just watching the lane, the little lights, the little lines like other competitors. It's watching the road. It's watching for stuff while you deal with your leg burning from the McDonald's coffee. You know what I mean? There's the
Yeah.
benefit. So tomorrow, do you work tomorrow? Or are you off?
I work tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow, when you have some downtime, go look at a vehicle and remember what was Kyle talking about? What's the feature? What does it do with the action and how does it benefit the customer? And the more of those you can do fluidly, right? You don't just go feature action benefit with a customer and just sound like a robot. You need to fluidly do it with what interests them, right? Then you talk about feature action benefit. Okay, another thing that helped me in my walkarounds was knowing things they can't Google. And you probably heard me talk about this in the podcast because I brought it
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
So let's use an STI, right? What are some things that they can't find on the Subaru website that you might know as a salesperson that's around them all the time?
Um. Well, I don't. I don't know. I'm still learning about the vehicles.
Okay,
Most of my sales I've been doing, I've been just like having conversations with the customers, just relating to them, getting them to
good.
know me and like me, and any questions they have, typically I find out at that time. So I'm kind of
Okay.
trial by error.
Well, remember, sales is the people business. If you're good with people, you don't necessarily have to know everything. But if you want to get to the top, that's when you want to start training and doing everything,
Yeah,
coupling that with the people
I
stuff.
can
But
definitely see where I'm losing customers by not having that knowledge.
yeah, so you might have hit your 22 if you just picked up three extra deals by just knowing your product and knowing how to do a proper walk around. That might have been your three deals. But
Right.
the STI, right? So let's say I go to Subaru's website and I Google it. Okay, it has this much horsepower, this much torque, has a six-speed manual transmission, it has the eyesight, right? I know the stats. I know the stats of the car if I come in. I'm an educated buyer. I kind of know what I want, read about it, and I go and meet John. And John says stuff like, okay, between shifts, you're going to fill this thing, get ready to load up for the next gear. So when you pop it in the gear, you don't have that, this thing wants to go. And that's something special that Subaru does. So when you're shifting, don't be scared to do it nice and quick. And you'll experience that on the test drive. Is it's not your normal manual transmission. This thing wants to go. Obviously, it's a rally car. And so when you go to shift it, be aggressive with it. Get it in that second gear, get in that third gear. And I want you to feel what Subaru was really trying to design and really trying to put down on the road. So when we test drive it, I want you to try it in a nice smooth shift, like you're just commuting, boom, boom, and then I want you to really give it a nice pull on the shift because I want you to experience what Subaru was doing. You're going to experience that power boost when you get into the next gear and it doesn't want to lag and lug around and boom, it gets going. Another thing I want you to listen for is the exhaust note, the exhaust tone. Subaru spent hours and hours with designers to make that sound exactly like a rally car. That pop, that nice purr, that nice exhaust sound. So when you're driving, it's not too loud, it's not too quiet. It's just that perfect blend of everyday driving meets rally car, supercar. Those are some things they can't Google. They can't Google how does it feel from shifting one to shifting two if I really engage it hard, right? They can only really experience what it feels like by being in the car and feeling it.
Right.
So if you can integrate things like that, what they're going to experience on the test drive that they couldn't Google, then what when you get done with your walk around, what are they going to want to do without you having to ask?
I wanna try it.
Yeah, they want to test drive. What the heck was John talking about? I want to
Right.
hear the exhaust. I want to feel the transmission. I want to check this out. I want to see how the seats hold me in when I take a 90-degree turn extremely fast. And that kind of leads right into the test drive topic. So just to recap the walk around best practices, know your product 100%.
Yes.
Know the competitors to your product 100%. If you're selling Subarus, you don't have to look up diesel trucks 3500, 3500 Chevys. You don't.
Right.
It's not your competitor. But you want to be as good with your product as the competitors. And if you can accomplish that, then you have the confidence to go toe to toe with any customer that says I'm looking at the Highlander, I'm looking at the Explorer. Oh, okay, let me tell you why you should go with the Ascent. Okay, so know your product 100%, know the competitors. Remember the feature, action, benefit. Talk about stuff they can't Google, things they're going to experience on the test drive. Okay, sound, the feel, the experience of what Subaru is trying to accomplish with their designers. Okay. Another thing too that salespeople struggle with is being compelling enough. Are you worth following? Are you that leader that can take them to the promised land and win that war? If you're just fuddy-duddy with your product and your walk around, then they're going to be fuddy-duddy customers. If you're excited about your walk around and you're enthused about your walk around, that will rub off on your customers. They'll get excited and they'll get enthused. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see, and then finish with your customer in the seat. So my walk arounds, I would start kind of old school. I'd start kind of by the driver's side, by the side of the car, looking at the cool angles. I would say, stand at this angle, take a look at it, and I'd go around the car, talking about the car, and then I would open it up. But my goal was to finish them off in the driver's seat. And the way that I would get them in the seat, because customers are reluctant sometimes, they don't want to test drive because they know what happens. They start wanting the car, is I would say, hey, I want you to have a seat in the car and start it, get the AC going, and I want to show you something that Subaru designed when the door's closed. Okay. Oh, okay. Roll
Okay.
down the windows too. They sit down, they roll down the windows, start it up. Okay, perfect. Yeah, get the AC. It's kind of hot out here. Okay. All right, sit there. Now I want you to take your hands off the steering wheel. Okay? Now that the door's shut and the window's down, I'm outside looking through the driver's side window because it's down. So I want you to put this arm on this center console, and I want you to put this arm on this center console. And I'd ask them, do you notice anything? They would say no. There's nothing to notice. I would say, here's what I want you to notice. The designers, when they were building this interior, they were thinking not about just comfort when you sit in it, but comfort after 9 hours of driving or 8 hours of driving. So if you notice, the center console and the armrest over here are exactly the same. Okay. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to tell you what it means. Not everyone drives 10 and 2 for a 4 hour drive, right? What do? They go like this. Okay. So they get their seat adjusted to where when they have their hand over here and they're leaning on the center console, they're comfortable. What happens when you start getting fatigued and you put your arm up here and then you go over here? Well, if it was different heights, then you'd have to readjust your seat. It'd be uncomfortable. And a lot of manufacturers caught on to that. Subaru is one of the first people to do it where it's perfectly even. If you look at some older cars, the center console is off from the the door.
Oh, really?
All I'm doing here, John, is getting them in the seat and getting the car started.
Okay.
This is a not a sales gimmick because it does make sense. You want it to be comfortable over time. But the whole point of that was to get them in the car, get their seat adjusted, and tell them how it's going to feel. It has nothing to do with the armrest and the center console. That's just my reason to get them in the seat, start it up. And then I would say, oh, before I forget, let me make a quick copy of your license and I'll go grab my dealer plate. I'll be right back. I didn't give them the option or ask them, can I take you on a test drive? You ask silly questions, you get silly answers.
Yeah.
So I took command of it, sat him in the seat, showed him this little gimmicky, technique I learned over years. Grab their license, go make a copy. All right, let's go drive it. I'm gonna show you those things I was talking about in my walk around. Boom! Now you're in the test drive without ever having to ask it, and they want to test drive it because they want to experience those things that you talked about in your walk around. Okay?
Okay.
Do you feel confident, a little bit more confident with some things to go over in your walk arounds now?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely gave me some good ideas. I'm definitely gonna have to watch this a few times to take some notes. But product knowledge is definitely important. I got to learn more about my product.
Yep. And you're not an encyclopedia. Don't worry about being an encyclopedia because if you just bore them with stats, then you're going to lose them. You still have to listen to what they want. You still have to build rapport. You still have to do a needs assessment. So that way when you do your walk around, you're doing it based on what they told you that they like. You don't want to do a horsepower walk around, talk about how much power and how fast it goes when it's the graduation present for the guy's daughter, and now he's scared that's going to go too fast. You
Right.
got you got to read the room still. Got
Yeah.
to use intuition as a salesperson to pick what to talk about in the walk around. Okay, the second part of this topic was the test drive, best conversations. What do we talk about? Okay, the things not to talk about is asking them to buy it, talking about buying it, talking about numbers, talking about, the step that's ahead of you. Okay? The test drive is for them to experience the vehicle. Do you find yourself wanting to talk to fill the air with some words?
Sometimes I let them just experience the drive. Just from listening to you, I kind of let them. I talk less sometimes, or if there's a couple, I let them talk amongst each other.
Very smart, very smart. That goes with being a salesman for so many years, 20 years, you've picked that up. Remember, we have two of these and one of these.
Yeah.
So when it's a couple, I always told them, you guys sit up front. I'm going to sit in the back, get comfortable, and I'm going to stay quiet. This is what I would tell them. I'm going to stay quiet because I want you to experience the vehicle like you just bought it and you guys are going on a camping trip or going out of town. I'm planting a seed like they just bought it, but without saying, do you want to buy it? And then I would say, but if you have a question on a button or anything like that, don't hesitate. Ask me. I'm right here. But I want you to really experience the vehicle. And I'm going to show you a path to go on so we can, do a proper test drive. Okay.
Okay.
So what would happen, and a lot of salespeople don't do a proper test drive and don't listen for these things, is they would want to fill the awkward silence because there's an awkward silence. Everyone's quiet and they're driving it. Well, next thing you know, the customer's asking, "Hey, Kyle, what's this button do?" Oh, shoot, that's the heated and cooled seats right there. Yeah, it's a little wiggly thing. Yep, and right above it's a heated steering wheel. Oh, okay, cool. Keep driving. What's this button do? Oh, that's a Jake brake, or that's what they call on a big riz, but it's a diesel exhaust brake. So when you're coming down a hill, if you hit that, it'll actually slow the vehicle down without using your brakes, right? It's a really cool feature. It saves the brakes. Oh, okay, cool. And then you hear this question. Kyle, what are the interest rates right now? What just happened? Do you notice what the difference is there, John?
Now they're talking like they want to buy it.
Boom! The buying cues, the buying cues. But if you don't take a long enough test drive, you can't expose that in their process, in this customer's process. A lot of salespeople just want to go do a quick test drive. Yeah, go around the block, see what you think. Well, when you do that, you're not allowing the customer to experience the vehicle, fall in love with the vehicle, and switch from asking questions about the vehicle to asking buying questions. And great job answering that. So, things to listen for after they've asked some button questions. This is what's good about knowing your product, because if you don't know what that button is and you say something like, well, when we get back, I can check, they're still in product mode, right?
Right.
They're not going to ask buying questions because they're too focused on what that button does. So you better know what your buttons do and your little things do and your gauges. What is that gauge? Oh, that's the turbo boost. Oh, okay. You can put those to rest because on this beautiful test drive, it's going to switch over to, do you guys take trade-ins?
Right.
Do you guys require down payment? What's your interest rates? What do you think my payment would be on this? So they switch from the test drive, learning about the car, to all of a sudden they switched over to wanting to buy the car. And now that you've seen that switch, you don't have to ask them, do you want to buy the car? They're going to say no if you ask that question. You already
Right.
know they want to buy the car by the things that they're starting to say in the test drive. You've got to pick up on these. So you already know, John. It sounds like you already know what to listen for. But for anybody that's new in the car business or struggling on test drives, listen to that 3 times over. Okay. So now that you know that that clicks over, what I also had when I was a salesperson, and my sales guys do the same route, is I had a set route that I would take my customers on. It included freeway, a little bit of city, a drive by our lake that we have, and a long, windy road. So I was able to do freeway, city, lake drive, windy road. And I was able to take them on a long enough test drive, and this was probably 15-minute test drive, maybe 20 minutes. It's a longer one. But the longer the test drive, the more information I was able to give them from their questions. And then that switch happened. The switch to, what are your interest rates? Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Salesman intuition. So have a course. Go pick out a course that you're going to use all the time, and try it out and make sure the test drive isn't too short. Now, do you have a set place that you go on test drives?
Yeah, I do. You're almost making me wonder if it is too short. Maybe I should go something a little longer.
How long do you think it takes?
Maybe like 10 minutes.
Okay, you'll know if it's long enough if you're hearing those buying questions.
Yeah.
You'll know if it's too short if you're not hearing any of that. They're not falling in love with it. So just try it out. And now that you kind of know what to listen for, which it sounds like you have that good intuition, see if you can maybe take another 5 minutes on your test drive and start getting those questions out of that customer. Do you guys take trade-ins? Yeah. What are your interest rates? Do you require down payment? What's my payment going to be? Things like that. Do you work with tough credit? Do you use this credit union? Those are all buying cues. Okay.
Okay.
So have a route. Don't rush the test drive. Be quiet back there if it's a couple. Now, if it's a single guy or a single girl coming to test drive it, obviously you sit up front and you can have some small talk about it and point out things that you may not have shown them on the walk around, but you still want them to enjoy the process and enjoy the test drive. So don't talk too much, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let them experience the vehicle, listen to their buying cues, and don't talk to them about buying it. If they ask the rate, don't say a rate. If they ask about down payment, don't say, oh, if you have 10% down. No, we'll figure that all when you get back. Let's make sure you like
Yeah.
this vehicle. Let's make sure you love this vehicle, okay?
Exactly.
All right. Any questions on the test drive?
No, I think you went over a lot.
Beautiful. Okay, topic two. This is good because this is one of the most important things that salesmen don't do, and that's follow up. And you put sold and unsold. Okay. So I'm going to start with sold. Do you have a particular idea of what you want to do with your sold? I know you just started selling. Do you have any ideas of what you want to do?
What do you mean?
Like a game plan of sold customer follow up.
Usually, the day or two after, I give them a call, just thank them again for their purchase, ask them how they're enjoying the vehicle. After that, we have like a 1 month follow up. I'm not sure how long after, I haven't gotten to that point yet, how far after that, but usually a couple days later, maybe a week later, and then a month later.
Gotcha. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Let's say you went and bought a couch somewhere, okay?
Okay.
And you met a salesperson that did everything you needed him to do. The transaction went smooth. He made you laugh a little bit, and you bought the couch. Then he called you in about 3 days and said, "Hey, how you liking the couch? Love the couch, working great." Then he calls you in a month and said, "Hey, you still liking your couch? Love the couch, worked out great." Then you don't hear from him ever again. Okay. And now it's been 8 years or 7 years or 5 years or 3 years or 4 years, and you need a new couch. What are the chances of you remembering that guy's name?
It's little,
How little?
very little. It's been a
Like
long time.
tiny,
Yeah,
tiny.
the smallest.
Now, if the guy stayed in contact with you over those 5 years, not bugging you and not, constant berate of phone calls and text messages and emails, but he stayed in contact with you a reasonable amount, a respectable amount over the 6 years. What are the chances of you remembering his name now?
A lot better,
Do you think it's between 80 and 100%?
probably.
And if he never contacted you again, you think it's under 10%?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay. So you already kind of understand where I'm going with this. When it comes to sold customers, and I said this quote, I'm pretty sure I made it up, is your relationship with the customer must outlast the vehicle you sold them.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
relationship has to outlast the vehicle you sold them if you want them to come back to you. So you have to be in their face from time to time throughout the ownership of that vehicle. So when they get closer to the end of it, here's the end point. Okay, the car's about to blow up. It has 180,000 miles. Oh, it blew up. You're the first person on their mind. It doesn't guarantee you a sale, but what it does guarantee you is you're their first point of contact because you're the guy they know in the business. And over the last 5 years, they built a great relationship with you. You've made them laugh. You saw them at church. You saw them at the grocery store. You remembered their name. And now they want to do business again with you. And they may be looking for, hey, we're thinking about buying a Toyota Highlander. I know you sell Subarus, and you could be like, I got a used Highlander that's only a year old with 10,000 miles. Really? Right? You just never know what you might sell them in that time frame, or they come back for another Subaru. But you got to be in their face over and over and over throughout their ownership for you to get a repeat customer. Okay? So how do you do that? I call it forever follow up, and one of the techniques is you find them on Facebook or Instagram or both, and you friend them because anytime they post something, you can hit like. You don't have to leave a comment every time. You can simply hit like, and they'll be like, "Oh shoot, John liked it." Right? You ever see a post that has no likes?
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's a viral hit. I'll post something and it's like, "Oh shoot, I must have offended everybody. I have one like." Right? And
Yeah.
then some of my posts get a lot of likes. But sometimes you may be the only one or two people that like that comment of your sold customer. My son just graduated kindergarten, right? One person liked it, his grandma. And then the car salesman was the second one. Congratulations. I wish I was in kindergarten again, right? Oh man, John liked it. Yeah, John and grandma liked it. Well, that puts your face and your name back in front of them over that course of their ownership, okay?
Okay.
Forever follow up. Your relationship must outlast the vehicle you sold them. Now, I have a ratio. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. Some people do 2-to-1, some people do 4-to-1, but I feel like 3-to-1 is probably the best for trying to get referrals out of these sold customers. Because over a course of a lifetime, you're only going to sell that one customer maybe 5 cars, 6 cars, if they're, a normal customer. But how many people do they know that could possibly buy cars from you? A lot.
Right.
Right? So the 3-to-1 ratio is follow up 3 times, make it fun and light. Hey, how's the Subaru doing? Oh man, we love it. Oh, that's so cool. I was just talking to one of my other customers about you guys and how you love it and have you owned it for X amount of time, and it made me think maybe I should call you. Okay. Another one. Hey, did you get that funny meme I sent you about Subaru? Yeah, you got, oh, it's in your, I texted it to you. Yeah. Oh, call me later if you have time to look at it. Then they text back, ha ha ha, that's hilarious, right?
Yeah.
And then the third one is, hey, happy birthday. I saw that it was your birthday. I wanted to say happy birthday. No one called him. You're the only guy that called him. Mama didn't call him. Grandma didn't call him. My car salesman called me. John's a special guy. So there's your three. And then your one is, hey, Mike, it's John over at the Subaru store. Well, what's going on? Oh, hey, my boss was just trying to get me to sell some more cars, which I know I need to do. And he asked, "Do you know anybody who might have some friends?" I'm like, shoot, I know a guy that probably knows a lot of people. Mike, do you know anybody who has a beater with a heater right now? Needs a car? Yeah, actually, my coworker needs one bad. Hey, shoot me over his number. Don't worry, I'm not going to bug him. But let me see if I can sell him a car, get him something reliable, and I'll shoot you a gift card or something. All right, cool. Here it is. The reason why you're able to talk with him like that and be have that relationship with them is because of those three things you did beforehand. Good, good, good referral. Fun, fun, fun referral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he might text you a couple people he knows. Bill, it's John over at the Subaru store. Yeah, I was just talking with Mike, your buddy, or our buddy. Oh, Mike, whatever. Yeah. Hey, he wanted me to reach out to you. Said you might need a car. That's how referrals work. We can't just rely on your good service and hope that your customers just send you referrals. You got to be in their face, but you got to be tactful. 3-to-1 is kind of the ratio. Make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Now, when you friend them on social media, and you're liking their comments and things like that, and you build that relationship with them over Facebook and Instagram, when you go to post something like a video or a vehicle that you just got in, don't try to make an ad every time. Sometimes on mine, I'll take a picture of two cars and I'll put A or B over the top of them and say A or B. And then the customers, people like to say, oh, B, oh, A, right? And they get this thread going of battling. Or if a new color comes in, Subaru is always great about cool colors. Take a picture of that Subaru, post it on your Facebook or Instagram, and say, what do you guys think of this color? All you're trying to do is get engagement because what could possibly happen is you get a message on Facebook and it says, hey, John, I don't know if you remember me. I bought a car a few months ago. My wife really likes that color. Can we come in and check it out? Of course. All from the post of you saying, what do you think of this color? Okay.
Okay.
Sold is easier because you already have a relationship with them. You've already helped them, but you have to keep a relationship with them, okay?
Okay.
Now, unsold customers, John, you have to be relentless because if you're not relentless, the salesman down the street, right? AKA Kyle, even though I'm not a salesman anymore, but I used to be. If you're not relentless, then the Kyles of the car business are going to be relentless. And the guy that's relentless is the guy that gets the sale. So if you feel, well, I just called him yesterday, so what? Hey Mike, it's John over at the Subaru store. I know I just called you yesterday, but a new piece of inventory came in. I thought, it'd be a shame if I didn't at least tell him about it and give you the benefit of the doubt to get first crack at it. Well, what is it? Oh, it's a WRX STI. Well, I didn't really want an STI. I know, but it's the blue you were looking for. Let me text you over a couple pictures. All right, cool. Talk to you later. All right, bye. Right? Being relentless, being creative, thinking of a reason why to call that customer again, get your face in front of that unsold customer because if you don't, the Toyota guy is the guy that's number one at the Toyota store down the street or the Honda store down the street will call him and will send the text and will be relentless and gets the sale. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't, someone else will. If you don't have what they want, does that ever happen? They come in for something you don't have it.
Yes.
Okay. If they don't have what you want, then if you don't have what they want, but you do have something that's comparable, send it to them. Call them. Hey, I know you were in yesterday and I don't have that vehicle you're looking for, but I did find a very comparable vehicle to yours. It has a little bit more equipment. It's a tiny bit more, but I'm confident I get your payment where you want it to be. Can I shoot you over a text? Well, yeah. All right. I'm going to take some pictures, right? You don't necessarily have to tell them exactly what it is. It's a this model with this feature and this. Let me just shoot you over a couple pictures of it. Tell me what you think. People like pictures and video, right? They don't just like it's all-wheel drive, it's blue, it's got windows and a tint. No, man, they want to see a picture of that thing. All right, I'll send it right now. Okay, bye. You send it to that customer. You know what, John? If he texts back, get me to 580 and I'll take it. Oh, okay, right?
Right.
Find something that's comparable to an unsold customer that you didn't have that vehicle in stock. Because if you're relentless, you're going to get the sale. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The other thing too, do you ever get an internet lead that doesn't answer?
Uh, yeah, we get different leads sometimes. I don't really hear from.
Yeah, of course. I call them ghosts. They put in
Okay.
a lead, they put in a phone number, they put in an address, they put in a vehicle, they put in, the features it needs to have, but you go to call them and nothing happens. So over the course of my career, I got a little bolder, I got a little braver, and I had more guts. And I thought, you know what, I need to invent something to get a hold of these people. And that's when I did that 3 call trick. Have you heard me talk about it on the podcast?
You call them 3 times in a row.
And when they finally answer irritated, you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if my phone's been calling you. I've been having problems with Verizon and I pay my bill and they don't want to fix it. Oh, it's all right, man. What's up?" I use it to this day as a sales manager, trying to save a deal or trying to get a hold of a customer for something. It works every time. They answer a little bit irritated, and then I tell them I pay my bill, but they still don't want to fix the tower. Whatever. Sorry if it's been calling you. Anyway, and then boom, you got them on the phone. Well, I thought you were a ghost. You're a ghost if you only call one time. They're not a ghost if you're relentless. The key word is relentless until they buy the car or they die. If you see them in the obituary, you can stop calling them. Until then, bug them. Bug them. Because if you don't, the other guy will, and the other guy will get the sale. When you're doing follow up, John, you got to act, and it kind of is true. Your livelihood depends on it. Your bills depend on it. Your success depends on it. Your level of whatever it's called at your dealership. When people look up to you and your managers are proud of you, that all depends on how relentless you are and how often you call your sold customers. Okay. Do you have any questions in that? You just said kind of sold and unsold, but do you have any questions in that realm?
No, I think you kind of covered most of it. I mean, there's customers that have on my list that I've called them, and every single time I call them, I just never hear from them. I don't know, like, should I keep calling or? But I guess I'll keep at it.
You got to keep at it. Here's what I would tell you for the people that are ghosts is call if you have a chronic guy that doesn't want to answer and he's kind of on and off when he texts you back, call him when you have downtime. Don't call him when it's prime time. Call him when you have downtime. Okay? When it doesn't necessarily matter if he doesn't answer or not. Before your shift, at the end of your shift, when you're about to clock out, I'm gonna call this guy one more time. He always is a ghost and do the 3 call trick and send him text, but don't do it in prime time because then you miss that up. Then you miss that, whatever.
All right.
All right, moving on. We got to keep going. Now, one of the things you said was a bad streak, missing,
Yeah.
not closing, and then sales dying. What do you mean by sales dying?
Like I said, I write a sale up, and something happens. They call up, they cancel. They say they change their mind about the sale. Maybe they found something different somewhere else has happened. Things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And then missing ups. When do you feel like you're missing ups?
Sometimes I'll be standing up there for feels like hours, and then I'll go back to my desk for a minute and I look up, and someone else just grabbed enough.
Yep. Okay. That happens. And then not closing, like you got a customer at your desk and you're not closing them.
Yeah, they say no or they leave or just they don't even want to do numbers.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's talk about missing ups. Sometimes It's happened to me in my career. We're just out of sync with the up system. We're out of sync. Something about today, I'm out of sync with the customers. I go back to my desk to do something, an up walks in. I have to use the restroom, a up walks in. I got to go eat, an up walks in. Some days you're just out of sync, okay? It happens. It happens. Um, and then spending hours out front, it happens. I had a salesperson that I knew way back in '03. His name was Scott Nordyke. I don't even know if he's alive anymore, but shout out to Scott if you're still alive. He had a little notepad of all his follow-up he needed to do for the day. He'd write the names and the phone numbers, maybe what they were looking for. And while he was watching the lot, he was out there flipping his little notepad, a little thing with a leather around it, and flipping through it and calling his customers while he was watching the lot. So he was double dipping, and guess what? He outsold everybody. Coincidence? No, the guy was working twice as hard as me and the other guys. I watched ups, didn't make phone calls. I made phone calls, I didn't watch ups. Well, Scott was doing both, and he was the number one guy every month in and month out. So he was double dipping, right? He took his chip and he dipped it in this one, and he dipped it in this one, and he ate it, right? So think of maybe something creative. Maybe it's does your phone have the CRM system on it?
Yeah, actually it does.
Okay, there's your tool. Um, I recently got an iPad this last year, and even though I'm a sales manager, I do a lot of stuff on my iPad through my CRM because it's just boom, 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 boom. It's quick and easy. I can listen to phone calls, I can assign tasks, and of course, I have my screen with my other, deal working stuff on it. But my iPad comes in handy. iPads are kind of big for a sales guy to carry around, so that's where the phone comes in. So if you have your CRM system on your phone and you're watching for ups, make some calls, double dip. Now, when you're out of sync with the ups, like you had to use the restroom and an up comes in, that's just crap happens. But know this, it happens to every salesperson, okay? So don't beat yourself up about it that you had to go get lunch, you were starving, and you missed a sale. It happens to all of us. It's going to happen to you for the rest of your sales career, okay? The thing is when are you doing follow up versus when do ups come in? So time management is very important too. You don't want to do all your follow up and emails and postings when it's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on a Saturday, right? That's when ups are coming in. So,
Right.
so remember that too. I need to pick the times that are the best times to do my follow up and my tasks, things like that, so I don't miss up. Okay. Another thing that can help is you tie up all your loose ends before your shift starts, maybe once a week. Come in an hour early and tie up all your loose ends, the WIO or due bills, follow-ups, tasks, things like that, and try to catch up so that when your shift starts, you can watch the floor, you can watch the ups, and you can stay active. And remember, walk your lot. Just because the customers aren't coming to you and you can't see them doesn't mean if you walk around your lot, you might run into a customer. So don't forget to walk your lot a few times a day because a lot of times you'll run into a customer that you didn't see.
Okay.
Now, not closing. So, um, here's something I need you to understand about not closing. If everyone closed every deal, then salespeople would sell 50 to 100 cars a month. Okay. So when it comes to closing car deals, you have to take the good with the bad. I'm not saying that you can't get better at closing. Of course you can get better. Of course your percentage of closing can go up. But if every salesperson sold every customer, right? 100% closing ratio, then everyone would sell 50 to 100. Do you know anybody personally that's selling 50 cars to 100 cars?
No.
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 It's because no one is perfect at closing. So the key is to minimize how many people we're losing at the desk. Okay, so don't beat yourself up that I'm not closing every deal because no salesman exists that close every deal. Okay. If you notice that this week I've been getting customers to the desk, but I'm not closing them, or I'm struggling to close them, you might have to go back to the basics because sometimes new salespeople they get too smart. They start quoting payments because they just sold a car like that and it was a 650 payment. And all of a sudden the customers aren't getting to the desk as much, Well, why not? Well, because you said it's a 650 payment before you actually got to the desk. So if you're having a tough time, go back to keeping it simple. Go back to building a friend. Go back to the very, very basics of the car business. My job is to make sure you like the car, fall in love with me in the car, fall in love with the dealership, and get you to the desk. Okay. So sometimes going back to the basics of just being enthusiastic will help you close more deals. The other thing is don't be afraid to turn your car deal. If you're in a cold slump, I would rather get a half than nothing at all. So if you're struggling with a particular type of customer or you're struggling at the desk, go find a salesperson that you think that might match up well with them and split the deal and say, "Hey, I am not syncing up with this customer. We are not clicking. I need help. You seem to be the perfect guy for this type of customer and you're on fire right now. Will you come help me get a half deal for us?" Sure, right?
Okay.
A half deal is better than no deal. And also you're gaining a deal for the store. The store depends on your success level. The store's health depends on how healthy you are at doing deals, John. So if you detect that you're struggling and you're not closing as much, go back to the basics and get some help. It could be your manager, come close it down for you. But don't be too big and too proud to get help, which I'm sure you're okay with getting help. But remember that I'd rather get a half than lose this customer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now the sales dying again. Let me think here. So the best way to close a deal is while you have them there in person. That's the best time to close them. The moment they want to think about it and you accept that as your answer, you're going to see more of the sales dying. When they're in front of you, that is your best opportunity to sell them. So when you have a customer say, "I want to think about it," not a problem. Let me get you the rest of the information so when you go home to think about it, you have all of it. Well, what do you mean? Well, the rest of the information includes kind of like, the out the door, the interest rates we offer right now, the payment you would have, in the trade value. Oh, okay. I'm not asking you to buy the car. All I'm asking you to do is let me do the rest of my job so I can get you the information so you can make an educated decision. So the customer that wanted to go think about it, right? All of a sudden's at your desk doing a trade appraisal. Customer wanted to leave, you got him to stay. Now you're presenting the numbers. You got their trade appraisal. You're getting their credit so that way they can get the exact interest rate. Well, you've taken them that far through the deal. They're so close to buying it. When you get them to that edge, they may say, "I don't want to do this again," in their head. "I don't want to do this again." John, we'll take it because you pushed them through it. So the more clicks you can get them through the sale, the more steps of the sale you can get them, the less times you're going to hear, "We want to think about it," or you're going to have a sale die based on them leaving. Because once they leave, you pretty much lost them. And I
Yeah.
would actually tell customers that, statistically, when a customer leaves, we have like a 3% chance of seeing you again and buying the car. So if you're leaving, I just have to assume that I didn't do enough to earn your business. "No, John, you were great." Well, what can I do to earn your business today if you feel that way? What am I missing? That's the payment. All right. What payment can you do? Well, I can get to 500 and I'm at 550. This is 550. Let me go work on it. You come back at 528, your manager did some magic, threw an extra this. All right, you got a deal, John, because you kind of guilt closed them into it. So you'll have less sales dying if you take them through the process as far as they'll allow you, and then ask for the sale. Salespeople are scared to ask for the sale. What can I do today to earn your business? Because statistically, if you leave, there's a 3% chance they'll ever see you again. By you saying "I want to think about it" is basically you saying, "I didn't do enough to earn your business. What can I do to earn your business?" It's the payment, right?
Right.
Um, know this that if they want to think about it, turn those words into, "I didn't do enough to earn your business. I need to do more." So if you're hearing that a lot, I want to think about it. You're not doing enough as a salesperson to earn their business. You haven't earned it. You haven't built enough value. So when you start hearing that, know that, okay, I got to change it up. What can I do to earn your business? I got to ask a closing question. All right. Anything else in those topics? Missing ups, not closing, sales dying?
That covers it. I mean, sometimes it's kind of disheartening when that happens, and it kind of gets you in a funk. You just gotta try to get out of it.
Absolutely. Just know that you're not the only person that's going through a tough time. I had a salesman last month that was at 0 units by the 11th. Zero by the 11th. That's a lot of salespeople would throw in the towel and just say, well, there's always next month. I got my bills paid, whatever. Right?
Yeah,
Um, he was at 0 by the 11th. He finished at 13 in April, which is not the greatest month. Obviously, he wanted more, but man, he could have threw in the towel and finished at 8, finished at 5, finished at 10. But no, he fought. So when you have these weeks or days that kind of suck, get back to the basics, set appointments, get on the phone and watch that lot, and don't worry about this last few days that sucked. Worry about how can I make the rest of this month good. All right, moving on. We're getting close to an hour.
yeah,
Time flies, huh?
yeah. It does.
All right, topic 4, tire kickers. So I'm sure you listened to this episode. It's season 1, episode 1. Turn lookers into buyers.
Yeah,
Don't turn buyers into lookers. So tire kickers, the way I overcame tire kickers when they said just looking, I used one word, excellent. Excellent. I turned it into something positive. Just looking. Excellent. My name is Kyle and you are? Oh, John? John Slayton. Nice to meet you. Feel like we've met before. No? Okay, whatever. All right. Yeah. Excellent. This is the first place we've looked. Excellent. Thanks for choosing us first. My name is Kyle and you are? John Slayton. Feel like I've seen you online somewhere. So um, just remember that word. Excellent. Now, let me ask you this question, John. What is the whole point of dealerships having internet leads come in?
to get them in the showroom.
Yeah, right? So internet lead comes in, John gets it, he grinds his tail off to set an appointment, correct?
Right,
The appointment shows up, and now John has a customer in house, right? All that work just to get that customer in house, and you look outside, and there's that customer just looking. So, but you didn't have to do all that work leading up to it. All they're just there. They just
right,
where do they even park? They just appeared by the ascents, right? So we're going to devalue that customer just by him saying just looking. When just to get a customer in the showroom takes all that work, they have to spend $80 on the lead. They have to get a salesman to respond to it in under 15 minutes. They have to get a salesman that knows what he's doing to set an appointment. And then the customer actually has to show up. All that work, and that guy's right there. And we're going to discredit him because he says just looking or get discouraged. Heck
right,
Heck no. I avoided all that work. He's standing right there. How you guys doing? Oh, we're just looking. Excellent. My name's Kyle and you are? Boom. You come out with positivity, you come out with energy, and you turn that looker into a buyer. This is the first place we looked. Excellent. Thank you for choosing us first. What brings you in? Oh, well, we're just looking. No problem. No problem. Let me tell you how our inventory works. That's all pre-owned over there. This is all the new vehicles, and then anything that's being recently delivered or in detail is back here. So we actually have a lot more to choose from than what you see right here. Plus, we have the showroom full of cars here. So you notice in this verbiage and how I'm saying it, John, I'm starting to take control from just the looker.
right,
Yeah,
right,
I'm a leader worth following. And then I say stuff like this. Now, just so you know, if you need to use the restroom or anything, there's in there, it's inside there. We got cool beverages and coffee and all that stuff. I want you to feel at home here. And I'm not going to bug you to buy a car if you're just looking, but I'd like to show you around. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Thank you. I'm John Slayton. I've been here for 2 months. I still don't know what I'm doing, but what I do know is how to help customers and make them feel valued. Man, awesome. Thanks, John. No one's gonna not like that. Even if they don't smile, they still like those words. People like being invited and feel welcome somewhere. If I come in over to your house, you probably offer me a drink. You'll probably offer me a place to sit. You'll probably show me where the restroom's at. Same thing with a customer. Hey, if you guys get tired on your feet, we got nice couches in there. We got coffee, restrooms. And let me tell you how our inventory works. And I can tell you some of the specials that we have right now. Subaru's really pushing the Ascents, the Outbacks. Oh, well, we're kind of looking for an Outback. Oh, so you're looking for something particular. Man, you gotta fire on all cylinders, John. All right. So remember the word. What word is it?
Excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. You have a live one. Reel them in. Okay. I have a little analogy because I like analogies. You ever go fishing?
A long time ago.
Okay, but you know how fishing works.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say you put your whatever the bait in there and you got your hook and everything and you feel it go like this.
Yep.
It's pulling. What are you going to do?
Got to reel it in.
Yeah, you're going to boom, pull it up, you caught a fish, okay? What if you go to do it and the fish says just looking, but he bit. He bit a little bit, but he just said just looking. You're going to be like, "Oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
let me cut my line." No, dude.
No.
Heck no. Whether the fish said just looking or he's nibbling on it or whatever, I'm going to try to reel him in every single time. If I feel a little bit of movement on the car lot, I'm going to try to reel him in. That fish is either on the hook or he's darn close to it. I need to bait him in a little bit. Boom. I'm not going to prejudge the fish after he bites my hook. I'm bringing him in. Well, biting the hook is them coming to the car lot, them looking at cars. Reel that sucker in and sell him something. Be a salesman. Don't prejudge the customer based on the first words out of their mouth because they don't even know what they're saying. They just say it out of a defense mechanism. Just looking, no problem, excellent. Boom, okay? Reel them in. Put on your selling shoes. And we that's when we get to work. When you see that customer on the lot, no matter what they say, oh, I'm in service. No problem. Let me show you around while you're waiting for service, okay? Take them through the process and turn them into a buyer. So when you get tire kickers, excellent. Show them around and try to sell them something because they're on your line. It's kind of a short topic, but I just want you to look at tire kickers as a different type of person other than tire kickers. They are
Yeah.
a customer, and guess what? They probably drove into the car lot with something, which means they're a buyer. It's our job as salespeople to turn them into a buyer from that looker tire kicker.
Okay.
The more you look at a tire kicker as a potential customer, the more you're going to sell. Okay, last topic. Closing deals. You mentioned decision makers. The other half isn't there.
All right.
I want to sleep on it. I need to think about it. Okay. And I'm shopping my competitors. Okay.
Yep.
So we've kind of talked about if everyone closed a car deal, you know, it'd be at 50 cars, 100 cars a month, right? So closing a deal is supposed to be hard, John. It's not the easy part of a car deal. It's supposed to be difficult. You're supposed to have a negotiator. You're supposed to have a guy that's flipped in his car. You're supposed to have a guy that wants a $500 payment and you're at 650. You're supposed to have tough car deals because nothing in life is easy. And if you want a big voucher, it's going to be hard. Well, sometimes they're easy, but you know, for the most part, every deal is a little bit of a grind. Okay. So let's talk about the decision maker. My other half isn't here. When I would get those people, yeah, me and my wife were looking at a car, but she's had to work right now or she's at home with the kids. Okay. Why don't we go show her on the test drive? So when it's a test drive time, that's a time that you could possibly go show the wife. Okay
Okay.
when it gets to the numbers. So don't take that as, well, my wife's at home, she couldn't come because she's with the kids. No problem, let's go show her. Okay. If you have a willing customer that really does want to buy, they'll do that. They'll drive to the house with you, show the cars. You go show her. I'll sit in the back, or I'll get out and stand by the tree. You can show her the car. Okay. Or they're at the desk and they have the numbers, right? They have the numbers in front of them. They say, well, I want to think about it. I need to talk to my wife.
All right.
No normal couple or no normal husband or wife would get all the way through the process, all the way through the numbers without their wife having to be there if they truly needed them to be there to buy. If that makes sense. Normal couples, when they are truly buying a car, they're coming together for the most part. I mean, there's some X factors out there, and they sit down and look at the numbers with you together. Okay. If the husband gets all the way to where he's ran credit and he you know he's seen the payment and all this stuff and he says now I need to talk to my wife, that's probably not the real objection. The real objection is mama said you can go buy the truck or the Subaru if you can be at 500 bucks a month. You're at 590 and it's $90 more than what she said that they could budget for, so he has to go talk to mom now. So when they say I need to talk to my other significant other, You need to ask them, well, before you leave and have to go talk with her, was there any discussion you had before you came that said, hey, if you can get it to this payment or this out the door, you can buy it? Was that discussion ever, well, yeah, we talked about, being at 500 bucks a month. Oh, so there's more in there. There's more things to dig out. Okay. So remember that when a customer said, I need to talk to my wife. Well, before you came here and you talked to your wife then, because I know you're not shopping without her knowing, and especially after you ran your credit, was there a certain number that she said, hey, if you can get to this payment, we can buy the car, you can buy the car? Yeah, it's 500. Boom. Now you have the real objection. You got to flush out the real objection when they say my other half isn't here, because most normal couples don't get that far in the process without their other half if they truly needed them there to make the decision. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the sleep on it is because we didn't do enough to build value and sell them that day. No one needs to sleep on a car deal. I mean, there's the overthinkers, of course. There's going to be those people that are the engineer type that truly need to sleep on it. But how I combat that is I say, listen, can we both agree that over time humans forget things? Yes. So if you truly want to sleep on it to make a better decision tomorrow, you will actually have lost information from right now to then. So sleeping on it, you're actually going to make a worse decision because you don't have all the information you have right now. Right now you have the numbers, you're fresh out of the test drive, you know the color perfectly, you know everything about the car, you know everything about the numbers, you know everything about the process here. This is actually the best time to make the decision. Sleeping on it will actually mess up your decision making. And you came here for a reason. You said, I want to buy a Subaru before you came. You said, if they can get to my payments, I'd buy it. If you said, if they get to my down payment and my interest rate, I'd buy it. So we've done everything that you need to buy the car, and you want to forget more information to make a better decision, right? Sleeping on it's actually worse. Sleeping on it runs the chance of all this hard work me and you have both done to get to this point, and some other guy that doesn't even care about the car buys it. Now I'm just buying it for my friend or my kid, right?
Yeah.
And you've done
Right.
all this legwork for it. Well, you'll get others. Yeah, we'll get others, but guess what? The more time you waste, the more expensive they get. Right now is the time to buy it because no one really needs to think about it overnight, John. It,
Right.
I mean, if you know you like it, it's in your budget. You like me, I hope. I hope you like the dealership and the process. What's stopping you? The only thing stopping you is fear. And you didn't have the fear when you came in, but now you have the fear. No, I'm not scared of buying it. Okay, I'm not saying you're scared of it, but a lot of people talk themselves out of buying a car when they've laid down all the groundwork to buy it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Wrap up the car deal. All right. Because they can't take a pressure and they can't take the closing skills. Okay?
Okay.
Shopping competitors. We're going to wrap this up. Shopping competitors. You have to build the value in your car. People will buy your vehicle without having to shop the competitors, and you've already done this in your short career so far. Well, we're looking at the Toyota, we're looking at the Ford, but they bought the first car they saw with you, or they bought that day. They didn't need to go see it anymore. Why didn't
Right.
they need to go see it, you think?
Just build value.
Build value. You build value in the car, you build value in yourself, you give them all the information. You probably showed some competitive advantages over it. Maybe your price was a little bit more, maybe it was a little bit less, but you did such a darn good job that they didn't feel like they needed to shop anymore. So if you're losing car deals to the competitors, you have to look inward. Don't look at the competitors of having better deals and having, better products. Look at yourself as I need to be the better product. I need to be the true competitor to those brands. I need to do a better job to build value, make it make sense, and present the vehicle enough with those class exclusives and our value per dollar, thing. Do you know what I mean by value per dollar?
What do you mean?
So what I mean by value per dollar is here's the value of the car. It has all these features, so many features, but the dollar amount's here. It's 40
Oh,
grand, but all the features, this thing should be 60 grand with all the features it has, but it's only
okay.
40 grand. That's value per dollar. If the dollar is higher than the value, that's when they want to go shop elsewhere. The dollar is 40 grand for the car, but you only built $30,000 worth of value in it. There's a $10,000 discrepancy from what you're asking to what you're selling. I'm going to go look at the competitors, right? So
Right.
if the value is 60 grand and you're only asking 40, oh, that's a good deal. Wow, I thought this thing would be 50 grand. It's only 40. Yeah, let's go work the numbers. Value per dollar. Okay. The value has to surpass the price. Okay, so remember, closing is supposed to be hard, right? But
Right.
there's always a workaround. There's always the real objection. What they're saying is not the real objection. We have to dig the real objection out of it. Other than your wife saying, "Hey, let's talk about it before we buy," is there anything in the payments or interest rate that's off? Well, yeah, the payment's too high. That's the real objection. It's not the wife. Well, we're going to look at the competitors. Okay, other than the competitors being the challenge, is there anything with my vehicle that you're not saying I want to buy it today? Well, it doesn't have adaptive cruise. Oh, shoot. Shame on me for it not asking that that was a I have to have type feature. I actually have an Ascent that has that. Oh, okay, let's look at that one. Okay. And then finally, um, it's a numbers game. The more people you get to your desk, the more cars you sell. The less people you get to the desk, the
Less cars you sell.
yes, you can be the worst salesman in the world, but if you get 80 people to your desk each month, you're probably going to sell 10 to 20. You could have the worst closing ratio, a 5% closing ratio, right? But if you get X amount of people to your desk, that 5% closing ratio might be 15 cars. So it's a numbers game. The better you get at closing doesn't mean you're going to sell more cars. If you get really good at closing and still get 100 people to your desk, you're going to sell a ton of cars. It's a numbers game. So remember that when you get customers out on the lot, I got to get them to the desk no matter what. And when I get them to the desk, if I'm struggling, I need to either turn them or get my manager involved. But I have to get them to the desk, log them in, and write them up. And the more you do that, even if your skills don't get better, but you get more people to your desk, you will sell more cars, even
Oh,
if you're not great at closing.
right.
Okay, closing requires no fear, finding the solution, and a quick response to everything. Do you ever watch stand-up comedian shows and things like that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, when a comedian is up on stage and he has a heckler, how fast does that comedian deal with that heckler? If he's a good comedian,
Fast.
fast, right? So when you have a customer and they say something that's like a heckler, like, "Well, the Chevy has this feature and button." Oh, shoot, you better have that quick response. Well, the reason why the Subaru doesn't have that button is because it's automated. Oh, it's automated. Okay. Right? You dealt with that heckler, you dealt with that thing quickly because you're going to have customers that are they like other brands more than Subaru, but they're trying the Subaru out. Well, how come yours doesn't have this? Oh, because that's automated. Oh, because that's already built into the vehicle. You don't have to pay more for that. It's over here in the standard features. You have to deal with that heckler quickly. So, good comedians, good salespeople have a response instantly. Now that comes with experience, but you've been with people for 20 years, so you probably have a lot of that experience.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last thing with closing deals, if you want to close more, the customer needs to feel like they won. Okay, they have to feel like they won to truly buy the car, whether it's a full tank of gas, floor mats, a gift card, something. They have to get that last final win, and you'll notice that you come out with a pencil, it's everything they want, it's the payment they want, and they're still not buying. You're like, why aren't they buying it? I'm at their payment. They
Right.
they need that one last thing. What you can do is say, "Oh shoot, I forgot. The 580 payment includes the what did you have in here? The extras, the Zurich shield
Right.
and the ceramic coating. I
Yeah.
forgot. So when you come out with a payment, maybe tell your manager, "Hey, will you load it with the nitrogen filled tires and the VIN etching?" and get to that
Right.
580? Yeah, yeah, I can do that. Okay, perfect. And then you go and you sit down with your customer. All right, got great news. With your down payment that you wanted, I was able to get you this interest rate, and guess what? Your payment's 579. It's $1 less than you wanted. And they're like, hmm. And in your head, you're like, that's what you told me you wanted. Why aren't you
Yeah.
buying it? And you let them stew for a second, and they're like, what do you think? I don't know. It's up to you. I don't know, man. It's a lot of money. And then that's when you interject. Oh, shoot. Totally forgot. That's going to include the VIN etch and the Zur Shield, whatever, Zurich Shield,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And you're like, oh, it comes with that? Oh, shoot. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, I got you hooked up, man. All right, we'll do it. Because they felt like they won at the very end. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm going to throw in some all-weather mats for this thing because I noticed they had cloth. Most people want the all-weathers. Oh, okay, you're going to do that? Yeah, perfect. You didn't negotiate on price, and you asked your boss for $100 worth of floor mats. Yeah, no, no problem. Yeah, I got you. If you can just do those little things with those customers that you seem like you're doing everything they ask, but they're still not buying, you need to go back to your desk and say, "Hey, I got where they want to be, but they're still not buying. Can we do something like floor mats? Yeah, go see if floor mats will close them." All right. Got great news. I was able to get, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
if you can make the customer feel like they've won just a little bit, then they'll buy the car. Another technique is if they want 580, um, and you're there at 580, you got a deal. Manager already said it's only 579, right? Come
Right.
back and say it's 610. I got you approved, but it's 610. Oh, I told you 580, John. I can't do 610. Well, that's where it ended up, 610. And that's with your perfect credit and your money down, right? You got to do a little playhouse with them.
Okay.
I told you 580 and I'll take it. I'm like, my boss threw me out of the office, said, no, 610 is the lowest. Well, then we don't have a deal. Well, hold on. Hold on, Mr. Customer. Hold on, Mike. Give me a second. So what you're telling me is if I get to 580, you're buying it right now. You're signing it right now. Yes, that's what I said. All right, let me go try one more time. You go back. John or Mike, guess what? 579. I'm getting it cleaned up right now. I'll get the paperwork ready. Be right there. You just had to reaffirm and play a little bit of a game to close them with those
Yeah.
people that are a little bit tougher. Come back with a higher payment. I got a guy approved about a week ago, and his payment was 283. His approval was 283. Guess what I closed him at the desk? Guess the payment.
300,
Higher.
330.
399. I got him approved at 283. I closed him at 399, and I got him to put another 500 bucks down. He's like, I can't be over 400. I already had him at 283. He had great credit, but I wanted to set up finance for a warranty, gap, all that stuff. Right? He ended up buying everything. His payment was 399. He left happy. It might have actually went down a little bit. So don't be afraid to come back to your customer with an astronomical payment, whether they say, I'm trying to get to 500 and you come back at 620. Let them get a reality check and then bring them down to, bump them up, bring them down, and you end up getting a deal.
Okay.
Okay, another thing, the last one is, and you kind of threw this in here, the extra products. So you said Zurich Shield,
Yeah.
Elite plus ceramic coating, VIN etching, and nitrogen filled tires. Okay, these are money makers for you in the dealership.
Right.
Things you can say is like, hey, 80% of our customers go with our platinum package when they buy our cars. So I'm going to get you a payment with it, and then I'll break down what's included. Oh, okay. Come out with the payment. If you present the products 100% of the time, then you're going to get more sales with the products.
Okay.
80% of my customers buy the platinum package. I'm going to get you a payment with it, and I'll tell you what comes in it. Okay, I can afford that. Cool, man. That's how you sell those extras. And if they say, well, what's the ceramic coating? Okay, so the paint jobs on these cars now are like $10,000. The ceramic coating protects that paint. It's not some, spray stuff and we just wipe it on. It's for real stuff. Ceramic coating is for real. It protects the paint against, the outside world. And think about this. The car you're buying is $50,000. You're going to spend that much more to completely do this platinum package and protect it. That's why such a high percentage of people get it. It's like ordering a pizza without cheese and pepperoni. The,
Yeah.
the the crust and the sauce is the car. The cheese and the pepperoni is the platinum package. You start presenting it to 100% of the people, you're going to start closing more. And you tell them, I'm going to do the platinum package in it and try to get to your payment you want. Every 80% of our customers do it. All right, let's see what it looks like. Okay?
Okay.
We went over a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right.
Not too bad though. Any questions before we go?
No, I mean, just thank you for having the one-on-one with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, John. You have a wonderful day tomorrow. And to let your managers know, the two that you were talking about, tell them that I say personally that I appreciate managers out there in this car business that are like them. And if they are seeing this, thank you for being the type of guy and owner that says, hey, I support my sales guy. I want him to learn. Here's the podcast. You know what? I'm going to reimburse you for the one-on-one. Those are managers that need to be in all dealerships. So if those managers are watching this, maybe you can zoom in to the end and show them this part, John. But I
Yeah,
appreciate people like that because I know that there's good managers out there in the car business. And John, you work for two awesome people. And when they hired you and you had that great interview, you sold them on the fact that you are a good candidate for them, right?
right,
Well, they hired you. Now it's time to live up to the things that you talked about in your interview. Now it's time to show you those guys that gave you the chance and are paying for the one-on-one that shoot. We hired him and he has gone to the moon. He's gone to the stars. John is our best salesperson. And tomorrow go fire it up and tear it up and I'd love to hear some updates from you of your successes, okay, bud?
all right.
Appreciate you, John. You have a wonderful night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.